have the recipe. It's homemade chili. This is the most delicious chili that you will make for some time. And let me, if I can, as we work along here, I'm going to do a couple things here. Whatever length of video it is what you get. But anyways, I'm making homemade chili and I'm making homemade cornbread. And I got these two cast iron skillets right here. Now, I'm not going to put my finger back down in there right now, but I got a big old spoonful of lard in there that saved from some bacon at breakfast. And then I put a little oil in there to help it out a little bit. And I took my finger and I wound it all the way around the top of that skillet right there. Two of them. I like a small loaf of bread. When you serve it, you know, the loaf, I like it to be about a half a thick of skillet. I like a thin cornbread. I did make a little extra batter we're going to, I'll have a thicker cornbread this time to go with the chili and cornbread. But once started the whole deal, let's stir this up. I've been frying it. Y'all hear that? I've been frying this. And I tell you what happened. This right here, not sure if you can see it or not, but that's 1 pound of ground round. I mean, it was the good stuff. Cost $5 for a pound. I'm talking about it, you know, it was a little more than that with taxes. Whew, man, $5 a pound for hamburgers. What's the world coming to? But anyways, and I'll show you something. I've got this thing right here that says chili powder. Okay, you're supposed to be. I'm going to use some of this right here. I'm going to use a spoonful of it. Let me see where my spoon's at. But I'll tell you what, talking about a couple of gifts over the weekend. I was blessed. This right here is chili powder, and I'm gonna, y'all see it. The reason I held out about this right here to put in this right here is, do you see about how big that spoon is right there? It's a teaspoon, but I had it mounted up there as much as would hold on there, and I used that measurement when, I tell you something, if you was watching one of my cooking videos, you know, it's all more or less. You know, if you don't want that in there, don't put it in there, but it's personal taste, so adjust it to whatever you want to. This right here, I forgot to use that. Somebody will leave me a comment about using a metal object. Oh no, wait a minute. I'll tell you what I've done. My oven right here, I've only baked cornbread in this oven one time. This is a brand new oven. Okay, and I usually bake about 450, but I'm not sure about this oven, so I'm going to put it on like 425. And you put that all in there, and you poke them. Now this cast iron we're talking about, I don't know what brand they are, I don't care. I just want a good loaf of cornbread, and them skillets right there will produce such loaf of bread. But what I've done is I cooked that hamburger gunner, and I'll try to show you something. Y'all see about that? It's a pretty good large plump. You know what I mean? When you get a bite of this chili right here, and you're going to get some meat with that bite. And in this bowl right here, you know, I need and what I've done, there was some oil in there, and I just turned the heat down and kind of let it go ahead and simmer, and it's cooked all of that oil away, so I won't have to drain this right here. Now, if you get that cheap stuff, you're going to be pouring a cup or two of oil down the drain. I'm just telling you that. So I think what I do, I'm gonna go ahead. My recipe calls for, I need some liquid in there, and my recipe calls for 3 cans of tomatoes of some sort, and I did pencil it in there. Is a small diced tomato, you know. But if you had some holes and you chopped them up with a good knife, you'd be all right, you know. I'm just saying. And I'll just get them in there. The liquid, I'm gonna add some. I'm actually gonna add some water to this right here. I want it to be a distinct flavor. I'm gonna go ahead and put them beans in there. That's 2 cans of them there red. These are the dark red kidney beans. What them is? Boy, that'll make a good pot of chili. And then let me go ahead and caution you. I'm gonna put some water in that can right there. I'm gonna put that other can of beans in there. We'll have plenty of room. I don't know what size that can is right there, but this right here will be a good dish to break this oven in. Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be good. And I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and get them spices in there immediately. You know what I mean? And right here, I'm gonna read this off to you. But you know, just dump them in there. They're gonna get in there. You know, somebody would call. You know, you put a little in there and you stir, put a little in there. But you know what I mean? It's all gonna be cooked together. Just dump it off in there. If it clumps up a little bit, it'll work out later. You know what I mean? It's a boiling. Just don't fret it. Just get it made. Boy, it's gonna be good. You know, I don't think I need no water in that right now. I'm gonna let that cook. I got that on that. It's not hardly down there, straight down on medium, so I'm gonna turn it on over because I want to get this a vigorous boil. Oh, it's gonna be good. Now, not to be amiss, let me get some water. Actually, that was only, I'm gonna say 1/4 of a cup of water in that can there. I wanted to wash that, it was sediment from that can of beans, and I wanted all that fine stuff in there. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, it's going to be good. I can smell it now. So I'm going to change it. I'm gonna give you a second change because I didn't alarm you to it. Get your pencil ready, and I'll read this list of ingredients that we just dumped in there. But I'm gonna let that simmer right there. Where's that lid go on there? I've got a lid for that panel pot right there. Okay, and it's got one of them holes in yonder. You know what I mean? I think that hole was free. I don't think I had to pay any extra for that hole. Okay, now what I'm going to do, in order to work with this cornbread here, I'm going to change from this burner back to this burner because this stove right here, I'll describe it to you. And I'm thinking it's going to be this one right here. This stove, where there's a bean I didn't get in that pot, you know what I mean? I hate to throw away a good bean, but you know, it was just one. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm getting a little heat, so I'm gonna go ahead and move this over here and just let it simmer while I'm baking the cornbread. I'm gonna cut this one off. And like I say, I had it down there on medium, but I'd like to be working right here because I have kind of found out in this kitchen right here, you know what, the yin and yang of life, you know what I mean, up and down, and the broad spaces, the way I can look at this, direct to the door is right yonder. And I done already had the compass out there at the front door, checking my let's say longitude and latitude, you know, from my front door, east and west and all that stuff. You know, I got a pretty good bearing on it. The 2 skillets is in the oven, heating up as the oven preheats to about, I'm going to say 410 degrees. You know what I mean, to give somebody a precise measure. To cut this off, I'm kind of waiting for that to cool down right there, because that was pretty hot. It's a small burner here, large burner here, and large burner here in a crossways formation. So, and that's on medium, straight down, and to simmer with the lid closed, if you're taking notes. And like I say, I hope you got a pencil and pad there in front of you, and I'll read this off right here. Where's my glasses at? Because I don't want to make no mistake on that. Actually, what I ought to do, I should be working with that cornbread. I won't forget to tell you about that. But right here, what I got right yonder, take notice. It's empty. Other than it's a teaspoon, and I just scooped a thing of bacon grease right in there that was left over from the morning. And then I put enough oil in there to where I think it's about 1/4 of a cup, more or less. And right there's what I save it in right there. I'm going to get that back over and save keeping. You know. But anyways, it's just some oil I poured in there, whatever kind you want to use, okay with me. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that I'm thinking that we're going to have cornbread after a bit. Oh, I don't have anything there. Right here is about 2 cups of self-rising cornmeal. That's all that is. Get it out the bag, you know what I mean. And I did measure it there just for your own information. That's about 2 cups. Okay. And I got this big old box of old-fashioned oats the other day up there at the store. And you see what that's a grasp, a large grasp of them rolled oats. Just throw them over in there like that. And I got some right here. I ain't gonna put no egg in that cornbread there, you know. So right here is some grits, and you see that's about that much. Okay, that's not enough. I'm gonna put 2 of them. 2 of them big old gripping palm grips, you know. Put them grits in there, and you know, just for texture and you know, grain, the shape and all, and the way it cooks up and everything. I'm going to put some cream of wheat in there, and see, that's I'm gonna say, whew, I'm gonna say it was. Well, you know what I mean? That was 3/4 of a cup. I'm sure that wouldn't have made that much. Put that in there. Oh, that's going to be some good cornbread. Them small grains like that. Call it a multi-grain cornbread if you want to. And there was enough oil in the bottom there to make like 1/4 of a cup. I didn't have no milk laid in, but I did have some evaporated milk. And I got it really, really full, but it's a half. This cup right here, so I'm going to say it's a large cup, but it's half evaporated milk and half water. So I'm going to, and it was that amount. It was almost too much in the cup. A little bit more and it would have ran over. Just telling you, you probably may have not observed that. So, you know, if you're going, well, under normal circumstances, I would have messed up right here. I'll tell you about it. I'll tell you what. I'm going to let's say that this right here is my version of Tommy Shoe's mess up. I seen a video the other day where he painted that car and it had some runs and stuff over yonder. Well, he didn't have to show you that. You know what I mean? He could have turned the camera the other way, but he didn't. Okay, that's the same way right here. I told you the first video I ever done. Ain't no rat, it's just telling you a tale, that's all it is. This is equivalent. I could have cut away and you never would have seen how soupy that is. Okay, the way to correct that is, and just so happened, and it's a good reason, we should have noted the time there. I'm going to say it was on the 30-minute mark when we started this chili simmering. And we're going to cook it a good hour or so at least. Okay, I'm going to get another handful of that cornmeal. That wasn't enough, so I'm going to get another there. And you at this point, in order to get to, that looks good right there, but I'm going to put another handful. See, I could go with that right there. It only took 2 small handfuls. I think I will. 2 small handfuls to thicken that up to the perfect consistency. And, you know, in the end here, it's just give me that much extra bread. you know, you can look at it that way. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to assume that the skillets are hot. So let's get them out of there. Somehow. They are going to be hot. Them skillets is going to be some more hot. You know, they always are. And I really don't have I've got this thing right here. And it worked really good now, but there comes a time when that skillet handle is too hot for your normal kitchen glove. Be warned of that. But I've got that, I was thinking there was something else I was going to put in there. You know, like you can put some salt in there. You can put sugar in this if you want to, you know what I mean? There's a multitude of stuff you can put in right here. And I fretted with the idea myself earlier as I was thinking, and I've done already made the answer. I was actually going to put a can of those mushroom tips and bits. You know, it's all stems, but once you get it baked up in a good cornbread pone, you know, it don't matter if it was a stem or a top. You know what I mean? Good's good. So I'm just going to lay in about half of that right there, and then over here I'm going to do the same. And let's see, and right here now is where you can adjust it if you would like. Let's say you wanted them both kind of even. Okay, whatever's left in there, which ain't very much, but there's enough to spend the time. And it's important enough for me to tell you about it to get that last little bit out of there. So and at this point right here now, I tell you what, I'm tempted to do it, but I'm not going to. You can take a little of that bacon grease over there that's been sitting there all day and just dribble it right on top of there and shove it in that oven. Man, you talk about good. But I think we're going to be all right here. Now this right here, you kind of need to notice this right here. On the only thing that happened is it's the bread will be a little bit thicker in the skillet than I wanted. Other than that, not to leave any loose ends. A few days ago, that chili's up. Y'all see that? I'm going to stir it up. Oh, yeah. See, I could put them mushrooms in there too, but, oh, yeah. And I may put some water in it just so that, I'm going to see it's good now. But I'm going to let it simmer, and the bread now, we're going to bake it under about 325 for, let's say about 12 minutes or so. So that's 5 and 10, and that's a little more. That's pretty close. So when that little head gets up to the 10, the bread should be about right. Now I have been known and advise you to do it about halfway. We may do that. About half. See, I can hear that boiling. About halfway through the bake, we may take them out, and if the bread's loose, flop it over. If not, put it back in there. But I don't think we'll have any problem with bread releasing from the pan. The cornbread, not to forget it on the timer there, and I've done let it go over a little bit. On the count, I'll tell you why I did that. Let's get them out and see what we got. It's because they're a little bit thicker, and I don't know the temperature on this oven, but yeah, it's loose. I'll show you something. What's this? Woo. See, I like to put my cornbread upside down about halfway, and then I shove it back in that oven up there. And, you know, let's try this other, because it's a little bit hotter. Oh, yeah, it's loose. Watch this now. I'll show you how to do this. Makes your bread more even on both sides. That's the way cornbread in a cast iron skillet's supposed to look. 425 on this stove. Always when you take something out there and inspect it, change sides with it there, you know. Different heat pattern. And y'all, can y'all see that right there? Woo, smells so good, and I've had it closed this whole amount of time because I wanted to keep all that there moisture in there. But I'll show you something. Y'all look at this. Oh, that's going to be good, and there's a lot of it too. When you get some of that right there on your cornbread, you know what I mean? It's going to be good. But anyways, I got it all the way. I started on medium right there, simmering it down for that long amount of time, more about a half hour, let's say. And I'm all the way around yonder to on the low side of 2. And so I'm going to go all the way up to low so I can just maintain a good heat there while I wait on that cornbread. What I'll bring to your mind, clean up as you go, you know, tidy kitchen. What I'll bring to your mind is this recipe here. It's on page 8 in my book. It's number 372 there if you keep an account. A homemade chili powder recipe. And it was all about the chili powder. Remember that. The chili powder is the key ingredient. I mean, we could have worked with any kind of ground beef and made it work by just varying the ingredients in that chili powder. But this is my recipe. 1 spoon each, down here. 1 spoon of chili powder, 1 spoon of onion powder, 1 spoon of garlic powder, 1 spoon of ground red pepper, 1 spoon of ground paprika. Oh, use more paprika if you can. Okay, these other here are 1/2 spoon. 1/2 spoon of crushed red pepper. That's them flaky things, you know. And 1/2 spoon of ground cinnamon. Put it in there and you will thank me later. And 1/2 spoon of, I got sea salt, but you know, use what you got. And 1/4 cup of sugar. Put it all in right here and stir it like that, and we done already dumped it in there, you seen it. 1 pound of ground beef, browned in the skillet right there till you got no liquid in there. 2 cans, 15 points, something I'm sure, size cans of red kidney beans, and we use the dark ones tonight. Use what you got. You know, if it's a bean, dump it in there. 3 cans of diced tomatoes, and that was, you know, like a 14 point something can, you know, size. It's that part. That's about all you can say about a good homemade chili is just put it together, let it simmer, and you know, you probably should have a green vegetable today. You know what I mean? I'm sure a green vegetable will help you get through the day. I'm just saying, leave it with you. Well, let's just get on with this and see what. We'll see what this cornbread looks like. Let's look at this first. Oh, I'm just going to turn it plumb off. It's too much of a simmer, and it's right. Oh, it's going to be good. No need to look at that anymore. Let's get these breads out here. And it's on 425, and I don't think that it was hot enough. The next time I'm going to put it on the 450 mark and go ahead and bake it right at 450, and I think it would have baked sooner. But these are a little bit thicker, so it actually, you know, I got about 20 minutes in that bread, to be honest with you. That's too long. Surely is. Should not have taken that long. But let's get it out there to be a cooling down. And let's look at it. Watch this. I probably should have a cloth right there for sure. Actually not. I'll show it to you. Y'all see that? I'm gonna say that's Yes, I'm proud of that. That is the perfect cornbread. Oh, yes. I'm proud of that cornbread right there. Man, that's a nice one. Okay, let's see what the other one looks like. Surely I have not outdid myself tonight. Well, personally, I prefer this one because it's thinner. And it's a perfect color, that nutty color on the top, and it's the perfect color. It's hot. Don't be playing around with your food. You know, go right from the skillet to the plate. Oh, that's, boy, a big jar of applesauce. You could eat that whole amount of cornbread with a big jar of applesauce. I'm just saying. Now, we'll let these, I tell you what, we'll let these two skillets cool down here. Once they get cool, take a couple of paper towels and swab it out. Put it in the drawer. Take a couple of paper towels and swab it out, put it in the drawer. It'll be ready to go the next time after you swab it out with a couple of paper towels. Just saying. To serve up this, let's, we should have a plate. Okay, let's serve up that cornbread. This one. And you know, I got a bread knife over there, but I prefer this old, it's kind of generic. Remember that you got stuff hot here on this stove there, so use caution to your own personal preferences. Just saying, you got a hot skillet over there. You got a sharp knife right here, so be very careful. Okay, let's look at it. Can y'all see it? Oh, that's going to be good. No egg, and it's not falling apart. Just all I'm going to say about that. You know what I mean? A lot of young brides, I hear tell, has problems with their cornbread falling apart. And hon, just throw you some cream of wheat in there. You'll be all right. And the way I'm going to serve this today is you put one right there like that. And actually, I wanted them to match this kind of... I'm not going to mention that yin-yang thing, the way my house is positioned and everything, but it's important to how your cornbread lays in the bowl. I'm just saying it's kind of important. Yes, just go ahead and leave a comment. You know what I mean? Just leave the comment because you're thinking it. I tell you something though. I will tell you something. I'm not going to mention my new coat. I'm not going to mention my new coat. Oh, this looks beautiful. Hot. Remember, it's hot. Do not forget. And I need a place, so hey, y'all want to notice something? Y'all want me to notice a fact to you? When in my house in Arkansas, and sometimes I'll tell you about this whole transaction of this house swapping that I'm doing. We'll talk about that at some point in time. Believe me, it's a story to be told. Just like this stove, I have a stove, a dishwasher, and a refrigerator, and a vent hood. They're all black color. The reason is I ordered white. When I spec this appliances out, you know, I specified that I wanted all white. And when they delivered them, they were black. You know, so I make the call, hey, I didn't want these black appliances. And the dude had already left them. You know what I mean? So in order to get them exchanged. The dude would have to put some white ones on the truck and haul it out here to me. Take these out, put them in. You know, I mean, it would have been a big project. You know what I mean? It was a mess up on their part. Anyways, I tell the dude, I says, or the dude questioned me. He said, what do you want to do? You know, and I said, well, I want my white color, you know. And he says, is there anything I can do to make them blackens any better? And I says, yeah, how much you give me a discount? So, you know, he studied me and he said, I can give you $500. And I said, okay. And the dude gave me $500 credit just because that they were black. You know what I mean? I can live with $500 paint. You know, just look at it as black paint. I can live with $500 paint. You know what I mean? I would have rather had white. If you're taking notes, if you over there in the column, I prefer white. Oh, y'all look at that. Now make it look pretty. I'll show you something. If I can on this one, I'll have to show you a little bit. But now see, that's the reason you want that broth. Oh my, that looks good. Ooh. I tell you, let's just go ahead and pencil it in. You know what I mean? Pencil it in right there on the worksheet that you got. We'll have air conditioning. Did you hear it cut on? Just go ahead and pencil it in, and not to leave nothing out if I can. Let's cut this other bread open. Oh yes. You know what I mean? With a big old, I'm gonna say a full quart. If you are a grown up man, you know, a large size husky boy, then about half of this cornbread here, I'm going to show you something. Ooh, I mean, even me, I can go the half. You know what I mean? I can actually, I wouldn't recommend anyone on a first time basis to eat that much cornbread. But, you know, being a seasoned cornbread eater as I am, you know, I would risk eating too much of it. But just to prove the point that cornbread don't have to fall apart. You know what I mean? It don't have to fall apart just because they got an egg in it. Baked all the way through. I put that cornbread, and I did get a scraper on the floor. I'll get that up. Some butter on there. I mean, living dough. I mean, we may be poor, but we eat good. And we better get us a bite right here. I'm gonna show you something on that there. It may be a shadow over here. I'm not sure, but it's a bite-sized chunk of ground beef. It's hot food. I'm talking about, it's not cooled down enough. It's simply delicious, if I can tell you about it. All started with that little bitty cup of homemade chili seasoning mix. And cornbread. Let's try about it. Enjoy. Charlie Brown. Spoon. This is good. You know, get you one of them beans. cornbread. You'll douse it down in that juice. Let that cornbread soak up right there. You know, it's kind of I think it was that cinnamon. That's what set it apart from everyone else. From here in Middle Tennessee.